had on the show.
Well, welcome to Double Talk. I'm Mark Steffen.
I'm Michael Mandel. We were just talking about an important, we taste things on this show.
We do.
And last week we did sparkling water.
Sparkling water.
We're very
Delicious.
happy with that taste. The other thing was I got a bunch of sparkling water in the fridge, and I've been drinking it, and it's better than water.
It doesn't lose its sparkle after a week?
Not after, it was less than a week.
No, we shot it a week ago.
Yes, but that's this week.
By now.
I knocked it off by then. See, This is regular water. There's no sparkle to it.
Like this show.
No, the show is loaded with sparkle.
Oh, okay.
It's usually in your gleaming eyes. We put little star pings in your eyes. But we're going to talk about other exciting things. The fire in Ruidoso is nearing its end, hopefully.
Well, it's still raging on. Luckily, they've had some weather that's been helping out a little bit. They've had some rain. It's been high. They've had high humidity up there.
High what?
High humidity.
High.
And they've been fighting it. They're knocking it down. They're getting it under control. It is the most expensive fire in New Mexico history now. We've lost over something like 240 homes.
The Ruidoso one, or
yes,
everything,
the Ruidoso home
or everything
fire.
Together? The one in
the Ruidoso fire, we've lost over 240 homes.
Because
there.
it's more homes there.
There's a lot of more homes
than
there.
the one in the Gila.
And numerous other structures. We've lost one life there so far, attributed to the fire. And I was at the fire here just the other day. I visited the
Do we have pictures of that?
We do have some pictures of that. I was at the Sierra Blanca airport,
yes,
where the air operation was just getting underway. And that's where all the tankers, the aircraft were coming in to refuel.
You're an important guy, aren't you?
And for some reason, I didn't download the picture of me there on the flight deck. But
because who would take it?
Well, the same photographer that took these other pictures.
Go like that.
But we have those pictures, I think, coming.
Now he's looking for them. We have this computer. We could just turn them around and show you. There's Ev Earhart.
That's the man for the Forest Service who's actually in charge of the air operation, and telling her there what's going on.
Who's her?
And she's the candidate for United States Congress.
Oh. She went there to check things out.
She went there to check things out. She's been to both fires. And the next picture shows, I think, one of the aircraft in action.
Switch that next.
Boy,
you got to produce and direct all at once.
Oh,
See, like those guys.
This is
like
the
I'm in military.
the highway.
Go this way. Don't go that way.
They've got the highway blocked off. He can only turn right, which takes you. This is in Alto. Takes you past the Spencer Theater and on down to the airport there, at the end of the road.
It looks kind of gray out there.
Actually, it's not too far
from
the Flying J Ranch.
Really?
And then a couple other shots we've got we'll get to.
They're just coming like gangbusters here.
Yeah, the Smoky. That's one of the bucket
brigades.
Helicopters.
Yes.
They fill that bucket with water and they drop it over the flames.
They're getting the water from Bonita Lake.
I'm not sure where they're getting that water from.
It is very pretty.
This helicopter had just come in to refuel.
Just its translation.
And the air tankers were coming in. A lot of this aircraft had come in from California. We don't have these kinds of this material here.
So we spent a lot of money on the Ruidoso. What is that? That's an overdub of the helicopter. That's very artsy.
Yes, that's one of the snorkel choppers that
hovers over water.
Sucks up water, then takes it over the fire and releases it.
So we don't have our own firefighting equipment. We have to borrow from other states.
Not much of it. We pretty much have to borrow not only the equipment but the personnel. Many of the personnel had come in from Idaho.
The posse is there.
California, Utah. A lot of firefighters. We don't have the firefighters here.
Well, we don't have much wood left in this state after all these fires. So is it Ruidoso or Ruidoso?
It's Ruidoso.
Ruidoso.
Yeah, it's Ruidoso.
Okay, let's be clear on that. Because that's where we just saw the thing at Flying J Ranch. Was that ever in jeopardy, that ranch? That's a dude ranch, isn't it?
No, nothing on the other side of the highway was in jeopardy at all. Unfortunately, a lot of people, decided not to come up to visit Ruidoso because they're afraid of the fires. The town itself and the neighboring community really wasn't in danger. Bonita Lake area was evacuated. So was Capitan, but that was much closer to the fire. when we get closer to the highway that runs between Capitan and Ruidoso, the flames never really got close. They blocked the highway off because they needed it for emergency traffic and so forth.
So why do we have that big logo? What happens at not Bonita, Flying J Ranch? Is that where they grow cattle or what?
Well,
what do they do there?
Flying J Ranch is set up for entertainment.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's kind
like
of
a dude ranch.
Kind of a Wild West show and attraction. You can get
nobody in Las Cruces is a dude. That's only in L.A. Hey, dude.
Right.
So.
No, the Flying J.
What is that?
Well,
is that Ruidoso or?
They've got a Western town there.
That's pretty cool.
They've got a jail set up. They've
Burnt
got
well. Guest.
They got
Gary.
a pistol shoot. You can try.
You don't have to show us.
Try your hand at target shooting.
Shooting things.
They've got gold panning.
Gold panning. That's the founders.
Gold. These are the founders of the place.
Wow. Founded what 1814 or something, right?
That's the group there.
They've got a Pony Express ride going through town. They've got a gunfight that's going to happen.
You know, gunfights are great. They're classic. They probably put the people in the jail, and those bars probably are the two in the middle, probably rubber, right? So kids could go in there.
Escape.
No, kids could go in there and say, "Look, Mom, I'm really strong."
They've got Boot Hill. You can go up and look at the old tombstones and read the interesting messages.
Is Booty Hill the name of their disco?
No, Boot Hill.
Boot Hill.
And read about the people who founded Bonita City, which is just in that area.
Yeah.
Horse rides.
And they've got horse rides for people. They've got
a shooting thing.
Shops with all kinds of.
This is a place where you take kids and you can go panning for gold.
Right. Plus that night they've got a chuck wagon dinner.
Oh man, that looks good. What do they say about their chuck wagon
all
dinner?
Kinds
What's that? You read a great line from the chuck wagon dinner, which was something about.
Well, if you go home hungry, it's your own fault.
It's not your own darn fault.
It's your own fault.
It's you always can get more. In America, when you go places, people definitely know how to eat. So.
Yeah. Plus they've got a show.
Learn this machine.
They've got a musical show that goes on.
At night.
Yeah, where you have the chuck wagon dinner.
Oh, and everybody sings Western songs.
Well, they sing it for you.
That's good.
They've got fiddlers and banjo players and guitar players and singers and dancers. It's kind of a hootenanny.
That sounds like
fun.
fun.
I understand it. I've never been to it.
You never?
No, I'd love to go.
Oh, why don't you go?
I'd love to.
Do you know anybody? What?
Well, you can look it up on the internet.
What do you look under? Flying J.
FlyingJRanch.com.
Don't confuse it with the Flying J truck stop, which is in Anthony.
So you can bring your cameras too.
Take pictures of cowboys.
You can bring a blanket. It gets kind of chilly up there at night, even sometimes in the summertime.
Thank goodness, right?
After
100-degree weather, you want it to get a little chilly. Cool off.
Absolutely. So yeah, so the Flying J Ranch sounds like a lot of fun to me. Let's go.
I wish I could go this weekend.
Okay.
How about you? When are you going?
Well, sometime soon. Somebody I know is going up there soon.
Yeah, it sounds good. Well, on another topic, we saw somebody there who was looking at the fires.
Yep,
so the fires are going to be controlled. You can go up to Ruidoso and do things. You can go back to Silver City and do things.
Yeah, it's all safe there.
The fires are gone.
And we have to thank the
just
people
in time.
who worked on the forest fires to help put those down for doing such a great job. We appreciate all the work they did up there.
And the government for kicking in money to put those flyboys in the air and getting that water on the ground.
Unfortunately, their budget has been cut. The Forest Service's budget has been cut significantly, Steve Pierce.
Which could be tragic.
Which means they don't have the budget to fight the fires. They have to let these burn to a certain extent. Unfortunately, houses are built
in the best, prettiest areas,
especially in the Ruidoso area. There's a lot of homes built there because it's such a beautiful place to have a home.
And there's a lot more space to build now.
Yeah, yes, there is. Or rebuild.
Just rebuild up. We know, there's a lot of people in Las Cruces who have houses up in the Ruidoso area. Ruidoso.
Ruidoso. Lots of people
How
say...
come, you don't have trouble saying like Silver City. Not many people say Sliver City.
No, but
it's a Ruidoso.
A lot of people say Ruidoso. That's not the way you say it. That would be the Dosa River if you said Ruidoso. And there is the Ruidoso River.
Ruidoso,
which would be the Rio Ruidoso.
Well, probably in Texas they say it wrong. Here we say it right. So you want to talk about the U.S. reps who have to give money to fight fires because these things don't take care of themselves. You can't just open a hose up, right, and let it go down the mountain, which is what I would do.
It's the job of the United States representative that we elect to pass laws that make things possible for the government and the citizens of the United States. Unfortunately, some of the representatives that we have voted to slash funding for the Forest Service and their firefighting capabilities.
Yes.
And then they wonder why the fires are so
because they don't want to
destructive.
give money to the government because the government doesn't do anything. Well, the government seems to do lots of things like help people. We just jumped into immigration reform.
We haven't gotten to that topic yet.
When President Obama first got into his office, he was going to reform our immigration system. We live in an area where we know is it a problem? We have lots of people from Mexico working here. We don't, the argument is whether or not they are taking our jobs.
They're not taking any jobs I'd want to do, that I can tell. But, I mean, if you go to the kitchens of a lot of restaurants, if you go out in the fields where crops are being picked, they're doing the kind of jobs nobody wants to do.
So they're not taking jobs as press secretary?
Yeah, they're not doing that.
Or TV
or television
star,
hosts.
yes, TV star. They're not doing those. But they're here, they're working, a lot of them. This everybody says, and we all know it's a country of immigrants.
Well, they're also paying taxes.
I didn't come from here. I came from New York City.
Immigrants?
Yes, I know. What am I doing in New Mexico? I'm just, luckily I showed my papers coming, through the New Mexico boundary.
Well, the new immigration law that President Obama has moved around Congress to put into action.
It's not approved by the Republican Congress.
That's right. But basically what it does is it allows children of illegal aliens who were brought over by their parents when they were very young through no fault of their own, which doesn't make them illegal immigrants.
No, it doesn't.
It makes their parents illegal immigrants. The children aren't illegal immigrants because they never planned on being illegal in the first place.
Well, they are
you have to
immigrants.
judge a person
they
by
are
their
immigrants.
intentions.
They're illegal, but it was through no fault of their own. So President Obama is giving them a, let's say, stay of execution for the 2 years that he's able to allow that to happen so that the immigration policies will stabilize. And that's what we're looking for, a coherent stabilization of laws here. And you have Arizona, which is ready to kick out everybody.
Right.
There's places, we have the thing where we've been giving licenses to immigrants, basically because it's a lot easier to catch them in case of car accidents. Some of them are here to stay. Some of them are working to become citizens. It takes a long time. That's a lot of paperwork, and it's kind of tough to get through. And I think that's what we're trying to stabilize. There's, it's not like they're going to be voting right away.
Well, at least the children of the immigrants who've come over aren't going to be forced to go back to wherever they came from. In fact, they're going to be allowed to join the military if they're able to get in.
They are in the military.
Well, some are.
Just as they allowed gays in the military.
Right, but it's not as easy to join the military now as it used to. Their standards are much higher now because we're down to one little war, and they don't need as many people in the military now.
Well, there's maybe there's more jobs here. A lot of people get pushed into the military because of a policy that cuts jobs in America. And
sure, they join the military to get out of poverty.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to get a free education as well.
Free education and pay. And you get some structure to your life.
Sure.
That's what we need.
Structure?
Structure. We're
or a life.
Both. Get a life, then get structure. Whatever you want to do first. Oh, we have archive double talk?
I'd settle for bone structure, actually.
You would? Well, during the break, I could restructure some of the bones in your face. Just,
yeah, I got your bone.
Oh, yeah? You got my bone? Moving away here.
No, you can say that on television.
You could? Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to say some more things when we come back. I think it's about time for us to take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break, and we'll be right back after these words.
As soon as whatever words we're going to do. What are we going to talk about? Oh, I know what. Something we love dearly. Food.
Well, yeah, we're foodies. Well,
we are foodies.
Whatever foodie is, we are that.
We'll talk about that right after this message.
Welcome to La Buena Vida Women's Club, located away from the crowds but close to home. Come in throughout the day for Jazzercise, the world's dance fitness leader for nearly 40 years. Treat yourself to a relaxing massage, or unwind in the lounge area or outside on the balcony with friends. La Buena Vida Women's Club, located and designed with women in mind. For information, call Diane at 650-9721.
Fiesta Motors.
Come and see us today and discover why our service is second to none. In business for over 17 years, we have the right car for you. Buy a vehicle from Fiesta Motors, we do everything possible to ensure your satisfaction. Located at the corner of El Paseo and Main. See you there.
Celebrate Fiesta Motors, where buying a car is always a celebration.
Taunton Interiors, make yourself a beautiful home.
The most beautiful homes in Las Cruces have one thing in common. It's Don Tan Interiors, the local experts in granite countertops and fine kitchen cabinetry. When it comes to home improvement, think Don Tan Interiors.
Taunton Interiors, make yourself a beautiful home.
Well, we were talking about immigration.
We were.
Right
And
here on Double
we're
Talk,
consistent
and-
here.
Anyway, most of the people here are the results of immigrants coming to this land. The only real people here are Native Americans, and everybody else is here
Who actually came here 40,000 years ago.
before that. So everybody here is an immigrant, really.
Except the dinosaurs.
No,
And look what we did with
they
them.
walked across the Bering Strait too.
They didn't have Bering Straits. That's when it was that big country called Galinda or whatever.
No, this is back with Pangea, when everything was
Pangea, yes.
when North America was connected to Africa.
You know, you kind of wonder. We get oil from dead dinosaurs, dead foliage, right? Dead, right?
That's what they tell us. That's not really true.
It's not really true. What does oil come
New
from?
oil is being created all the time. I don't think they want us to know that.
Is made from the guts of the animals that were here a really long time ago. But now they're going to start drilling in the Arctic Ocean, which seems to imply that there was a lot of lush growth there in the colder part of.
Wasn't always cold there.
I think that's true.
No.
Things get moved because when we first were built or whatever, when the Earth was here, by God.
They found plant-like fossils in the Arctic.
Well,
it wasn't always freezing.
What happened with that was there weren't those fossils, the algae growing under the ice.
No, I mean the ferns and the lush greenness that apparently
that now
existed there
turned into-
years ago.
Well, here we are.
Before you were born.
We're the science guy.
Yeah.
Even before I was born.
Before you were born.
I
And that
seem
goes
to
back a long
remember-
ways.
I used to have a pet dinosaur called Dino. So
Oh.
I guess I was here a long time ago.
The dinosaur. Remember Sinclair Oil? They had a dinosaur as their mascot.
That's right. And we know that. All you do is put a tap in the side of the dinosaur and get oil.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's a good
Or
way
sometimes
to do it.
my pores after I've eaten too much pizza.
That's true. You know what's buried under the North Sea?
What's that?
Teenagers with acne.
Really?
That's it. That's where you're getting all that stuff from. You just said it. You just admitted it. Yeah.
So anyway, were we done with the immigration policy? Or
No, we're talking. About that. I don't know how we got into the Dream Act.
We're going to talk about the Dream Act. Well, what is the Dream Act? The Dream Act is where people. Well, we already talked about it. Really.
We had a dream. Well, it's part of the new immigration policy where people come over. Their dream is to be here. Remember that America used to be the place that was paved with gold. Immigrants would come from Europe.
Yes.
In our case, Eastern Europe, or yours maybe Northern, or maybe here.
Well, yeah.
Whatever case, and this is where there is possibility. That's because the places we came from were incredibly bad.
Right.
They were. There was. It wasn't that there was no
Who
opportunity.
wouldn't want to try for the American dream?
There was no safety. There was very little food. There was no way to get jobs, and
Kind of like here now.
yeah, that's right. So we need a Dream Act, and that's why we have to colonize the moon. So Newt Gingrich is right.
What, did they discover oil on the moon?
No, they discovered that it's a new country. We should go up there.
Oh,
and
the unfounded country.
Yes, and we could go exploit those people.
Well, if we get there
They're
first.
Moonies, right? Are they called Moonies?
No, Sun Young Moon? I
Yeah,
remember
isn't that right?
No.
Watch on your computer. It's the same show. But now we're live.
Well, anyway, back. We were talking about food and
okay.
foodies because that's our favorite topic right here on Double
Yes,
Talk.
we're just dreaming before.
We were talking about the Flying J.
That sounds
up
good.
there near Alto.
Western food, pretty good.
They've got that great Western food. And here in Las Cruces, the food scenario is always changing.
Always.
It's fluid. It's like oil.
Yes.
It's very fluid.
La Iguana. Is that what you're talking about?
And first thing I want to talk about are the banquet facility scenarios here in Las Cruces.
You're upset.
Well, we've lost a lot of them ever since the Las Cruces Convention Center was built and opened. It's got great convention facilities. That's what it's there for.
For large groups of
People can
100,
have banquets,
200, 300.
Yeah, conventions, dinners, Well, we've lost local businesses have now
well,
gone out of business that
because
provided these services.
Lorenzo's, which had a good room for 50 to, I think, 150 people. That was nice.
Right, he'd only opened that up a couple of years ago.
Right.
Okay. The Mission Inn has been closed. Their banquet facilities and meeting facilities are gone.
Really? Oh, yes, I remember
Yes,
those.
the Mission Inn.
Used to be a bar there. The
The
forest
bars.
fire.
The Hidden Forest.
Hidden Forest?
Yeah, Hidden
Jungle
Forest.
Forest.
Then it changed to Tres Amigos. But also now a third convention and visitors facility is closed
Which one is
at
that?
the Eddie's Bar and Grill and Convention Facility.
That whole thing?
It's all closed.
Didn't you say last week that they were under new management?
It may open up again, and I hope it does. The motel itself is still open, but the bar, the restaurant, and the convention facilities are closed.
So you have it. You know, we still have the Farm and Ranch Museum.
Farm and
That's a
Ranch
little
Museum is
far
open,
out.
but that's a state-run thing. Again, competing with local businesses.
Well, that's true. So you don't know where to have your bar mitzvah.
Well, the only places I can think of right now are the Ramada. The Ramada Inn has nice large banquet rooms,
Yeah, that's not a bad place.
and the Encanto
Saratoga room.
Hotel Encanto.
Encanto, which is expensive.
Nice large. Used to
And
be the Hilton.
Saratoga room next to Lorenzo's.
Next to Lorenzo, which is a much smaller facility.
Smaller, probably about 50 people.
And that's about all I can think of really in town anymore, except for smaller meeting rooms, and those don't really foot the bill for a large gathering of, say, 40 to 80 people
So
who
what-
also want to eat.
Why are you so upset?
Well-
because they called off meetings? Couldn't you go to the Elks Club or...
Yeah, you could do that if you wanted to, but
That's
they're not
gigantic.
set up to
No, they're
throw
not.
out good meals. You'd have to hire a caterer. They don't have, restaurant facilities on site.
So what are we asking for? We're asking for an answer to the
Oh.
catering...
What I'm asking is, I think that the Las Cruces Convention Center is putting these places out of business, and there's no reason why the city should be competing with local businesses.
well...
But it's having that effect, I feel.
The concept was we wanted a convention center. The only way to do that is to make extra money by competing with ourselves.
Well, that's how it's
what
turned
happened.
out, I feel.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, the city of Las Cruces wants to build up the certain corridors. They want to build up that area. What? No banquet
They do, but
rooms?
before we do that, let's talk. Let's keep it with the food.
Zafiro's?
We're talking about the Iguana restaurant. Now that closed
Yes.
down right on Main Street, prime location. I like that restaurant quite a bit.
It wasn't
Unfortunately, they spent a lot of money adding on a room there.
And really?
Yes, and it was going to be real nice. And I was talking to him while it was under construction back around Christmas time. And unfortunately, about a month ago, 2 months ago now,
Couldn't pay rent?
couldn't pay the rent. They had to close down. It's one of the nicer places in town, really.
It's sad.
And
that's
so,
what happens.
Thankfully, in that same building around the other side, Zafiro's restaurant.
Which has been a success. And
It's been open a few years now.
They also opened just a pizza joint down on University.
Across from the university.
So
They're doing
They
well.
know what they're doing.
Well, they're doing well enough
Yes.
that they're going to move into the old Iguana facility.
Right.
Which
they're not going to actually move in. They're going to keep Zafiro's where it is.
That's
They're
right.
going to open up a whole new concept, which is what we need. Thank goodness. We don't
We do.
need another Mexican or what else do we get?
Steakhouse.
Steak. Yes, we need something with panache, a little flair, a little bit of metropolitan, debonair.
Something you can't
attitude.
get anywhere else,
That's right.
especially for the downtown, Main Street downtown Las Cruces.
Could be very successful. In fact, I believe Iguana was successful.
Well,
It just mismanaged some funds, sort of like the same reason that Lorenzo and Messia
Went out of
did.
business.
Yes,
Yeah.
they expanded, put too much money someplace, and that's what happens. When you blow your balloon too taut, it sometimes bursts.
well, they never should have opened that restaurant in El Paso, and that's why I did it. Now, you look at another restaurant like St. Clair Wineries.
Oh man, it worked.
They were in a very nice place. I'm sure that was expensive rent, but they outgrew the place eventually, and they moved over to a place twice the size at the old Way Out West. They seem to be doing fine, and
They're filling it
I
up.
give them kudos.
And we've all eaten there.
We've all eaten there, and I'll go back.
And I think the vote is in that it's better than the old one. So,
Absolutely.
Good
So-
old food. So save your business. Go and just advertise here. We can get you some advertising. We're actually everything we just said was not advertising. We're just schmoozing.
Well, you never saw Iguana advertising on Channel 98, and they should have. It might have helped. Advertising, and what people don't realize, advertising is free because
It is.
the business it generates more than pays up for it. If it didn't do that, there would be no advertising. Nobody would do it.
That's true. If one couple goes into your restaurant to have a meal, you've just paid for advertising.
Absolutely.
That works.
That's how it works.
Yes.
So also, unfortunately, well, let me take that back. Fortunately for Las Cruces, the city of Las Cruces is now trying to revitalize
the El Paseo
the El Paseo corridor, as they call it.
Yes, there it is when we
That used to be like the main
Boston.
one of the main business centers of Las Cruces.
Which it has, in the past year or two, undergone great transition. You know, when Walgreens moved out of the corner and moved into their self-made
new
place
building,
so they could have a drive-up, we thought that whole area was going to die. And then the place that used to be
Walgreens.
the supermarket left.
Yeah.
Then we thought it would be empty. Now that Pro Ranch is there and that Planet Fitness is there,
So
things are hopping. Most of those restaurants are doing
So
okay.
we're going to keep tabs on the El Paso corridor, and we'll get back to that
That's
topic.
exciting.
Also, you know, just a quick news event. Rodney King. Remember
yes.
Rodney King?
Say goodbye to
The
Rodney.
man responsible for the Los Angeles riots.
That's
Oh,
when he
there's
got
him
beat up.
after a busy night out. He was found
got
dead this
beat up.
week in his own swimming pool, paid for with his huge settlement from the Los Angeles Police Department after they beat him. And
Well, you got to remember, Rodney King did come out publicly during the riots and said, "Why can't we all just get together?"
Unfortunately,
You know?
he missed a great opportunity to actually become a spokesman, and he could have done great things with his notoriety.
He didn't really have
He
much
chose
to
not
say.
to.
He
Unfortunately,
just wanted people to
he had nothing to say.
get together.
He
You know, they say they are not suspicious about his death, but his girlfriend did find him in the pool and threw a shovel to wake him up.
That's right. So,
And the dogs and cats.
you know, we got a lot of dogs and cats
We're going to talk about
adoptions
dogs and
going
cats.
on this
So we're going
weekend.
to show happy pictures of puppies and kitties.
Well, they're
So
adoptions
that's
are
us.
going on today
Oh,
at Pet's Barn, at Petco, and at Tractor Supply until 3 o'clock today. Okay, go down and get a
Tractor
dog,
Supply,
get
huh?
a cock, get a dog,
Get a
get
what? What'd you just
a
say?
dog or a cat.
a cat.
Yeah, and also actually during the week daily apparently at Pet's Barn. Also at the county office building over there on Motel Boulevard, they have cats you can adopt there. I was looking at them the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Also-
are you getting two?
Also, the
Are you
Pets
getting
Alive,
two cats?
I think so. The Pets
Oh,
Alive
good.
campaign needs foster homes for people. On Saturday and Sunday, you can check into that by calling Valina Hamilton at 621-5994. And with that,
Are we out of here?
we're out of time.
I guess so.
Let's go get a dog and a cat.
I think, you know, if you have a foster pet, does that mean you only have to keep it together until it goes to college or what?
No, you
just-
can only feed a Foster's Lager.
Foster's Lager.
Yeah,
huh?
that's the only kind they'll drink.
You just foster along? Well, that would keep it nice and quiet. So that's 575? Yes.
Right. So, and with that, Michael, that's the end of the show.
Well, nice to be here.
It's time to stop talking. Me too.
We did.
Thanks for joining us
You
right
can
here
cut
on
us
Talk.
anytime.
And we'll